Respect the place that you call home. Respect the land in which you roam. Respect the country you were born. Let's take it back. Respect reform. Hold on to freedom, hold on to hope. Don't give them slack, don't give them rope. Don't walk and hang your head in shame. Be proud, stand tall, and we will reign.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rob Sheridan, and welcome to a conversation with Neil Stevens. Exeter needs change, and the people on this podcast are going to be delivering it. Every week, I host this podcast, and I'm privileged to have three Devon County councilors and a guest tonight. I've got Tony Stevens. Hey, Tony.
Oh, hi, Rob.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, where are we broadcasting from, by the way?
Well, as you well know, and as I say every week, the secret bunker.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I've got another Devon County councilor, Neil.
Yep, good evening, guys. I've got a lot in front of me, so if you see my face moving down, I've got ready for questions and answers, Q&A. Should be an interesting show tonight, but nice to be back.
That's great. Thank you very much. And I have another Devon County councilor. Who are you?
Councillor Nat Vanstone for the Broadcliffe area, and nice to be here again.
That's great. And by the way, these councillors have lived in the area for 60 years. Oh, not Nat,
quite
but,
60.
Tony and Neil were giving their age away, but they've lived in the area for 60 years, and people trust them.
I enjoyed every moment of it.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So we've got a great topic tonight, guys. And just wanted to kick it off by saying that young people are spending more time online than ever. We know that. They're seeing political content, campaign videos, influencers, memes, headlines, messages, inappropriate people on and I won't go any more than that, every single day. And who's shaping their views? And we're wondering, and we want to explore, right, Neil? Is it fact? Is it fear, or is it hope? So I'm going to ask Neil to open this topic up a little bit and tell you just very briefly, and then we'll go on further. Thank you.
Okay, so what we've worked out, we'll introduce our guests in a minute. So it's all about fact, fear, or hope, right? Who is influencing the young people? And we're going to make it quite steady. So I've had some emails or messages saying, what's it about? You know, is it one-sided? This is going to be neutral, all right? So at any time we are trying not to point fingers. It's a collective study of different parties and how they relay their messaging out. And I'm being very careful what I say. And we're going to look and study about keywords, factors, and we're going to listen to a young lady, which we'll introduce in a minute. And she's going to come openly and honestly, and she will tell her perspective on the ever-changing political world, I want to call it, in this country.
Thank you very much, Neil. Okay, so just a few things about this podcast. Nat, what do we have going on? Why are we doing this podcast?
This podcast is about the community, and it's your chance to get involved tonight. You need to get in touch, message us directly through this page, comment during the live, either through YouTube or Facebook or whichever platform you're looking at, and share your experiences and concerns, because we want to hear them. Because your voice is what will guide us, and we need to know your thoughts on the subjects we're talking about.
Thank you very much, Nat. And I think we might be the only political party podcast in the country, possibly. This is the episode 49. We started it last year, and what a great thing, right? So, hey, Tony, now I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about this podcast, if you don't mind, please.
Right. Well, this is going to be said for the 49th time, 50 next week. Your voice matters, so let's have a conversation. We're on Facebook, WhatsApp on 07355 429 205, YouTube, which you can subscribe to. Messaging and comments can be sent to neil.stevens@devon.gov.uk. He's there, ready to look at them.
Tony, you're a pro.
I'm getting better, Rob.
Okay, 49 episodes. You're doing a great job. And just further to what Tony was saying, YouTube is great. And if you want to use YouTube, jump on it and subscribe to look up Neil, Conversation with Neil Stevens. You'll see the podcast and get notified so that every Thursday you'll be able to see these great people with me here tonight. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few other things, but the most important is local issues. Nat, kick us off.
Well, so as usual, another week's gone by. So there's obviously the emails that we get daily and weekly that we've got to reply to and whatnot. I went to a meeting this morning in West Cllrs regards what I was talking about last week. We went to visit the West Cllrs with an engineer this time to discuss the possibilities of making the road crossings safer, and it was a very interesting meeting. Actually, we talked about he mentioned, which really sort of interested me, that when it was designed there originally, to him it didn't seem like there was much forethought. And could have been designed a lot better. We talked about the no U-turn signage below the traffic signals or the traffic lights, and he interestingly said that they have to be part of the unit. And I it set me back a fair bit. I was like, hang on a minute, surely a sign attached to the post, a non-U-turn sign below the unit rather than a whole new unit. For regards cost. And he said, I think the comment was somewhere along the lines of, well, it needs to be the same as the rest of Devon, so people are seeing the same thing. Well, to me, what a waste. I mean, it beggars belief, to be honest, so I'll follow that one. And I did ask him if it can be just a single sign fitted under the existing traffic light. Could we possibly just put a sign underneath it rather than the whole head unit being changed and wasted? The other thing, the fly tipping issue, that's interesting. I've had an update on that. They've been trying to contact the company that tipped it. He's not answering their emails, so I think he's going to get a visit from the authorities at the address that they've got for him, which will be interesting. So I look forward to hearing what that's about. Or what happens there. And along with all the winter follow-ups that I've been doing, there are still hundreds of abandoned temporary road signs strewn across Devon, growing into our verges. So if you've got any pictures of yours locally, please send them in to the pod and we can have a count up and see just how many pounds worth of signs.
Somebody might actually collect these things.
Yeah,
hey, Nat,
they're not all Devon County Council signs. They belong to contractors contracted to Devon County Council. So, I mean, I've worked out locally to me, there's about 400, 500 quid's worth of signs and cones being grown into the hedges and verges. So it's a lot of money. So if there's that much money to be wasted,
I'll be over there picking them up.
Then, well, yeah. So yeah, busy times.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nat. And I hope I don't do this like I did the Weetabix, where I do this every week. It's a bit obsessive, but there's a sign on the flippin' River X roundabout that's been down. It's on the west side, I think it is, or east side, or anyway, but it's been down for about a year, and I've reported it. Other people have reported it. So thank you very much, Nat, for raising that. Okay, Neil, how about you? What about you? What are you doing?
Okay, first of all, before I carry on, I'd like to send our condolences to the families of the Royal Navy, the pilot, the co-pilot in the Lodi, who sadly crashed yesterday with a Merlin. Our heart goes out to you. Okay, secondly, Henry Nowak's family, I send our condolences to them and our thoughts with all these people and anybody else who suffered any sad things in the last week. And people will remember, and just remember all these people. It's very sad times. So that's what I say on that. To bring it back onto the show, we have a couple of things. We met Phil Bialik on Thursday, and he said to
Hi,
give
Phil.
him a mention.
Who is
And
Phil Bialik?
Phil Bialik
Tell
is
everybody.
Labour. He is the head of Exeter City Council. I bought the coffee twice, and he had a Coke and a coffee, so next time's on him. It's a very mature, very sensible conversation, and it's nice that different parties with different views, we might not agree with each other on everything, but we could sit, have a coffee and discuss things about Exeter, and that's what it's all about. Leading on to that, I've been really promoting Rediscover Church. This is a church which is going to offer so much for the community, which is just to do with send, to do with place of worship. They're going to have cafeteria, cooking facilities, child creche, businesses where they can come in and do conferences. And this is going to add 40 jobs for the community in a certain area. So we've got an open day for selected people to turn up. We've got the bishop turning up, the deputy mayor turning up, and I sent, and these Rediscovered Church has sent an invitation to all councillors in Exeter, because this will affect all councillors' area. There's 450 to 500 people who attend this. Now, I'm going to give you some advice, guys. Either turn up or send a reply that, I can't turn up. All right, because this is one project we can all work together on. That's it.
Neil, what do we have a date for that, or did I miss that?
That's VIP. RSVP invitations is on the 12th of the 12th, 12 o'clock on the 12th. And I'm hoping all councillors, because we work for the people, will turn up and listen to what their vision is. Okay? That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, thanks. Well, just in the broader context, what is the issue that you're involved with that church?
Okay, so
Is
they
it a
put
planning issue?
Yeah, so they put in planning issue, and there's both sides of the story. One planning is the area they're trying to put in is worked as a employment area, right? So it failed on the first hurdle. Now the wording is quite wrong, but I'm not saying it's right or wrong. They're both sides of the story. So the law states that this area is deemed as an employment area. So as soon as you put the word church in, everybody thinks there's going to be a church. Well, that's incorrect. It is a place of worship. But in that place of worship, it's going to be open 7 days a week. It's going to offer everything for the community. So to me, it's a community asset. It's going to employ 40 people. And the way I look at it is 40 people. There's only 4 people in that building right now. Right? Workplace is changing. It is not a warehouse. It is nothing like it used to be earmarked as. And there's no way you're going to get 100 people in there. So 4 people, 40 people, So what we're trying to do is educate people to say the workspace is changing, Marsh Barton is changing, and you've got to go with the times.
Yeah, thanks. Just 2 other maybe small tidbits to add to that is, like I said a week or 2 ago, this is an interesting church because they're not like the cathedral where everybody goes around in robes, okay? They wear regular clothes, and they're what I call regular people. You have intellectuals there, you have people that maybe jackhammered my slab in my garden or something. They're ordinary people, okay? It's a really great church, and that's why they're expanding like crazy. So maybe give it a try. But also, Neil, this is an important issue because it's holding up other churches. For example, the church that I worship at, primarily Exeter. Did you want to add something?
No. All it is I don't want to. It's a place of worship, but it's not. It's a community asset. It's going to provide services for the community. Like I said, send facilities, child creche facilities, a cafeteria, somewhere where you can learn to cook. You can go in and they're on about doing a podcast area. So it's just part of a massive project which will bring in 40 jobs to that area, which is technically is dying. The buildings are coming up and they're not being resold on because big companies aren't buying them. The workspace has changed.
Okay, that's a good point. Thank you very much. And Tony, over to you. What have you been up to?
All right, first of all, I'm going to make an apology, Rob,
Uh-oh.
because I did jump the gun and say something about St. Wilfrid School, which I did get and I'll sort of minimise a little bit of criticism for. So next time I will sort of think a bit more before I say that. I've got that out of the way. Look. So back to what I was going to say. One of the things I may have mentioned last week is I did not realise that you're allowed to half park on the pavement and half not if there's no yellow lines there. So one of the issues that came up, and it's been coming up for the last couple of weeks, is a road in Exwick where Exeter College, the people who attend the football in the evening, do tend to sort of not think where they park. So in this case, they're doing that, and they're blocking in a disabled person who's got a buggy. He is struggling to get out the building, and if he's out, can't get in again. Now, I raised this with the police and traffic enforcement. They came along and quite simply said, we're not interested. So there you go. You can park on the pavement as long as there's not a yellow line, half on, half off, until the law changes, of which I'll try and get clarification on that. One of the other things that has cropped up is I've been obsessed with green boxes owned by Virgin and Open Reach. So
That's
I put
an understatement.
An understatement. Get obsessed, thinking about them at night. I did approach Virgin about some of the boxes in Bowie Lane, and they did say we would paint them. Gave them what 3 words. I chased them actually because it's been about 2 or 3 months, and I said, "What's the point of reporting it?" They did say they'd been done, and they sent me a fantastic picture
That's great.
of 5 lovely green boxes. Unfortunately, I did have to tell them, where are they? Because they're not the boxes I reported, and I don't even think they're actually in Exeter. I don't even know where they are, but they are lovely.
Neil, do you want to add something to that?
No, all I want to say, right now, the next phase is I want people to put questions in. I've got some questions here. I'll get back to you, Douglas. I see Tina watching, Georgina, Nick Price is watching. All right, Helen, good to see you. I hope everything's all right. Carol, hope it's all right. Right, so this is going to be an interesting show now. Like I said, we're going to bounce it around. We've got a young lady, which Rob's going to introduce now.
Okay, you're putting me on the spot, Neil.
Right, I'll backtrack a bit. So I get ideas from podcasts and I look at what's happening in the week, and then I normally write it the day before. Right, but a young lady approached me, and it is Catherine, which we introduced, and it is the daughter of Nat Vanstone.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it, though.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, she's got the looks.
Okay. So, Neil, what we're flashing up this slide here that you
Right,
you made.
so let's look at
what
this
is that
slide.
slide?
So-
what's it all about?
Catherine asked a question. I'll come back to that in a minute. Right, so we've got, 20 years ago, we would have a family. We would have teachers. We'd have community places to go. Okay. I used to go Scouts, Cubs, and all that was building a community and understanding manners and how you lead your life properly. So let's look at it now. So what do we do now? We have algorithm. We have different platforms on the phone. I mean, I looked at somebody tonight, all my family were on the phone instead of communicating with each other. We might as well just send messages to each other across the
Maybe
table.
that's you.
Okay. So the question is has the family, teachers, communal spaces, is it now being taken over by social media, which is controlled by different people? You've got TikTok, Instagram, and that then it leads you to how people see how this country, the world, is being run. And then it leads you to make a decision to the ballot box. And you all know how influential social media is. And that's not just social media, that's newspapers, that's different programs on your TV. And we're going to investigate that tonight in an open, fair way. And like I said, Tony, Nat, we haven't introduced you yet, Catherine, but Robert will now. We're going to look at it as fairly as squarely as we can. But I do want questions in, because we're going to put questions out to you guys, and I need your answers. I've got a list of questions to come. Okay.
Okay, great. So
Back to
actually, Neil, I'm going to ask Nat to introduce his daughter, okay?
That's caught him on the hop.
Well, it's one of those nights by the look of it, because my my bit at the start has changed this week as well. So we just will carry on with it. But yeah, Catherine, it's nice to have you on the show. You did come to me and say, look, this subject is an issue. You and your friends have all been talking about it, and it is influencing their opinions on the way they think about politics and this, that, and the other. So I thought just as well get you on, and you can say what you like within reason, as long as it's not rude. But tell us what you and your friends are seeing online to influence you.
So before we go into Catherine, questions you're going to ask. And I'm going to throw this out all between you and all that. And I'm going to ask you questions, Catherine. Mm-hmm. Right, so the questions, and this is to the audience watching. Who has the biggest influence on young people today? That's one of the questions I want people to answer. Second one, is it parents, schools, social media, or, I like to investigate you, friends? Mm-hmm. Okay? And that's what we're going to shove out. So I've got the list here, bring it all in. Back to you, Catherine. So you sent your dad that.
There's a tip from TikTok.
It was on TikTok. Yeah, we were having a conversation. And
right, now let's lead that to you now. Now the ball's in your court.
Well, I was talking to my friends, and we were discussing the how TikTok portrays each party's sort of what they put out there and what they're going to do. And I knew a few of my friends were quite keen with reform for quite a while, because they're from farming backgrounds, and they, after everything that happened in 2024, 2025, they like the idea of reform. And now obviously they've had some of these things come up now that are threatening women's rights, or that's what's been gone out there, and they're seeing this, and they're actually stuck on who they don't want to pick anybody, if that makes sense. They're worried about who really is actually going to be for them, because each party has a different place or things that they can do for that one, that different.
Right,
that makes
so
sense.
I'm going to pull you out a bit. So we used a reform.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to just do an example on reform, but what we're trying to do is be very neutral on here. All right. And we're going to analyse. We're just first going to bring up what Catherine brought to our attention. Let's forget the word reform for a minute. Let's look at what the picture portrays. Okay, and then if we can compare it to whatever people do. And you'll know what I'm trying to say in a minute when we bring these. First slide up. Okay, the first slide is about reform, because I have to use that as a comparison. But what we'll do then is look at the wording of it. All right, then we'll look at all the leaflets and reform as well. So we're cracking them all in together. All right.
We got to say though that this is screenshots from a TikTok post, and whether it's true, whether it's not, whether it's been said, whether it hasn't, we've got to sort of look at the likes of TikTok that isn't regulated, and they can tend to say whatever they like to influence people, whether it's true or not, or whether there's truth in it. So this is where the grey area is when it comes to this conversation, really.
Yeah, and let's go over to Tony. What's your view on how the social media is developing with your family?
Well, when my kids were young, phones. You'd sit at a table, dinner, tea. Now, back in our day, if we did that, yes, we'd argue and fight, but we didn't have our faces in phones. And one of the hardest things, and we used to say it a lot, is no phones at the dinner table. Mm-hmm. But of course, that's the first thing they've got. This is where they get their information from. And it's getting worse now, obviously. I think we're going to come to it with AI. But you get things like influencers. Now, I still can't work out what an influencer is. But again, technology's moved on. You've got AI who can create people now, create whole videos.
Mm. Hey, Tony, just an example of that is back in my day, okay, which is
Jumpers
your
for-
day actually,
Jumpers
okay.
for goalposts, wasn't it?
But no, seriously, didn't have a mobile phone, so if I wanted to go play with Steve Lawrence next door, and when I was a teenager, I go knock on his door and ask if he was there. Right? I wouldn't be afraid of texting and then waiting for a text. I'd just go knock on his door, or I'd give him a call on the phone, something like that. You know, there was a lot more person-to-person interaction rather than through a device.
Yeah, and this
Yeah,
is
go
where
ahead.
I've got to come back as well, that my wife was notorious for this, Tina, I will say. If dinner was ready, she wouldn't shout upstairs and say dinner's ready. She would send a text message. And you have to point out, darling, they are just upstairs. They're not miles away.
Who would do that, Tony?
My wife would do that to my children.
When was
She
that?
would send a text message to say, dinner is ready. And that was, to me, you know, the art of conversation just finished there. Because they would come down with their phones, sit there, phones in hand, faces in phones, and that would be that.
Anyway, the point is that we're incredibly reliant on phones and texts and social media.
Well, you see,
and it's
you know,
taken
you
a lot
tend
of
to
the
believe
human
what
relationships
comes up,
out of
and I
things.
think Nat wants to say something about that.
Yeah, go ahead, Nat.
Regards to phone, I mean, it's very instant, isn't it? You know, you can flick through any posts, and within 5 minutes, you might have seen 50 different posts. Do you know what I mean? And your brain's trying to process what's right and what's wrong, and it's so very easy to react to some of it without thinking, or even like sort of reading in and doing the research regards whether it's right or wrong. And these kids are highly influenced on that nowadays, aren't they?
Yeah, I think every year with technology, it's getting worse with children. I mean, the stuff that is pumped out for all the various platforms is, you know, if I see it, you know, I'm a technophobe, like I say, as my children would say, but some of the stuff that does come out, and I was bad enough when I made my comment about St. Wilfrid's, you know, it is some of it you think, well, surely that can't be true.
Yeah. Hey, Neil, do you have something to add?
Yeah, okay, so we're going to be very careful now. So remember I said we're going to be neutral. So please, with the Catherine one, this is what Catherine sent in to us. Now, it is about Nigel Farage and Reform. So just forget about the name of Reform and Nigel. We're just going to look at the messaging, the wording, and then we'll compare it to others as well. So this is given an example. Right, so going back to Catherine now. So the first question, right, why did you send these in to us?
Because they are the first thing. I was just talking to Dad about what comes up on TikTok, and it was the first one that come up when I searched political views on TikTok. That was quite literally in the search bar. That's the first thing that came up, and
Cool.
it was these pictures.
But what worried you?
Well, obviously, reading them and being a woman, some of them would relate to me, and if I'm seeing that, if that's what I'm seeing, maybe that makes me feel like I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? And it would be the same for any party if I saw any of them. It didn't really matter who it was. Just I read it and, you know, it makes you waver a little bit whether
First
have I
impression,
voted for
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously other people are going to see that as well. If they're on the same algorithm as I am on my TikTok or similar, then, you know.
Neil, can I just the first of the 4 slides just intrigues me a little bit, but it's just a good example of what she's saying is the consequences of Reform UK for women. You could get immediately sacked for getting pregnant.
Yeah, I don't really put it back to me, Rob. I don't really want to go into the meat of it because it's saying I'm not defending Reform. I'm not defending any party right now. We are just using this as an example, and I have to stick by that.
It could be though, Neil. It could be any party. It could be the Green Party.
That's what I was saying. It was just the first
what
one
I'm
that
saying
you-
is, it could be the Green Party on there, or it could be any party. The point I think you're trying to make is, first impressions. Something flashes up there. It may not be true, and people are being guided into that.
This
right?
is what we're going to develop for the next 30 minutes. Yeah. So the first question I'd ask anybody, and I'll ask you. Because I actually fact check this. Do you ever, or do your friends, because mainly your friends, do they ever do fact checking? And that goes to the audience as well. Does anybody actually fact check? And that's about any political party. Because with all this AI and all this intelligence and all this going on, you can gather so much information very quickly.
Yeah.
So, Nat?
Well,
Catherine?
I mean, I'd like to know. I mean, do Catherine and her friends, so they see that or whatever, and then go, okay, oh my God, rather than make an instant decision on what you've seen, do you then go flip back and go, right, I'm going to Google that and check that that's right? Do you do that? Or?
Well, I personally, I don't just believe everything I see that's put up in front of me, but I believe that some people do. They see that and think that everything is true, and then they don't fact check it. I've seen a couple of things about other things as well, and people have come up to me and say, have you seen this on TikTok? And I'm like, yeah, I have, but have you researched it anywhere else? Have you done your digging? And they say, well, no, because it's on here, and you're just,
It must be true.
And I think there lies the problem, because everybody can get everything so quickly and easily now, whether it be, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's food, whatever, information. If a mind is is young and not, they've got so much information going in, what do they believe? What, without them stopping and asking the question, what chance have they got to actually go, right, okay, I need to, and a lot of them just don't want to, and this is what puts them off politics, I think.
Right, so...
And I think also, Neil, sorry, just another maybe facet of that is I also include the news media in on that. It's not just social media, because, for example, you could get, maybe I'm picking on one person, but Starmer smashed the boats. He gets on BBC and, different leaders, doesn't matter if it's Labour or any leader, you have to be really, skeptical and always question what people are saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, you say things like Starmer smashed the boats. I think it depends which media paper you buy. Depends which version you will get.
Yes.
If you buy certain ones that are pro left,
The Guardian, it's going to be slanted
they
left,
would be for
right?
it. It just depends which in paper wise which one you get.
Yeah, Neil.
Well, yeah, so then, the question I would ask you, Catherine, is social media helping or going against democracy or aiding it or against it? Because everybody's using this. Do you where I'm coming? And I've got some questions to answer in a minute.
I think, because obviously everybody has their own opinions on TikTok, and it depends, just like Tony said, with a different newspaper, it depends who's posting it. Everybody's got their own different
They'll
opinions.
put their version on it.
So
They'll
going back to
either
the
be pro or
question,
against.
would you say social media as a whole, it doesn't matter who, party, whatever you do, would you say they are helping democracy, or they're actually damaging democracy? Because it's not being policed, is it?
Well, certain ones aren't, are they?
No,
so TikTok isn't. That's a Chinese company that isn't regulated over here, which has been an issue in the news recently. Which, whatever they are saying about it, that's not going to change. Doesn't look like, but it needs. Anything that our young children are seeing in this country from a platform that is owned by a foreign country like China should be regulated. And just the same as our press and our media are. You've looked at what Nigel Farage said the other day, and then had an apology from the BBC because they totally misquoted him. So these people are held to account when it's regulated. When it's not, they can post anything for whatever reason they'd like.
Okay, Nat. Now I want to be neutral here, as Neil says sometimes. Okay, that's a slippery slope.
Well, it's got to be neutral because we're open to everybody.
Yeah. Thanks very much. No, it's a slippery slope, isn't it? When you say regulated, it's a big problem, isn't it? Really, I'm not sure what the solution is because when you say regulated, are we going to have some bot in Westminster, saying no, we're not going to have any reform posts, So it's a tough one, isn't it?
Well, I've had a few questions here. Helen, thank you very much. Phone should be call or text only in schools. I'm really strong on that. My late son was bullied relentlessly by a few students. They grabbed him and held him back, and I could carry on. So the good question, would you need a phone? Because in my school, we never had mobile phones. So the question is, and this is a good question, Yoris, do you think we should ban mobile phones? Because if there is an issue at school, you either ring the school and say there's a problem at home, or if there's an issue at school, you ring home. So there's a big question.
Yeah.
Because social media, my friend who was Alid, hello Alid, he's no longer a head teacher, but most of his problems was to do with, he said that, she said that on certain, there's a few other questions. Go on.
Did we, regards to mobile phone and whether they should be banned, RE schools or whatever, we passed a motion, didn't we? One of the first motions we passed in County Hall, that phones were to be banned in
Left at the door.
secondary schools. And I don't know what's happened about that since
Good
then.
point. So going back to some more questions, sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's right.
Ian, social media fosters unaccountability. I like this one. And Catherine, you can answer this. To many anonymous or keyboard warriors, which can lead to a pile-on if you wouldn't say it face to face. So don't say it online. So that's an interesting. Do you understand what he's just said? So basically, if
Explain that,
you've got courage, and I'm trying to write the key words here. You've got courage when you're sat in your bedroom, office, whatever, and you can write to everybody. But if I was, I could write anything to you, Catherine, and I wouldn't have any consequences. But would I say that to you?
No, probably not. No. Well, no, no. I don't really know what much else to say, but when you are behind a phone, it's easy to post something, and especially if you've got, I know this is going to sound really silly, but if it's not, if you're posting from an account with a name, without your name on it, there's less accountability for what you're posting as well, because there's no person behind that. It's just it's like a website, isn't it? That's
There's
got
a lot.
no.
There are a lot of accounts on Facebook like that.
I think, can I just say, doing what we do get a lot of malicious posts. It just goes with the territory. And, it is one of those things, and they are anonymous. And I'm quite broad-shouldered. I'd rather they come and actually speak to me instead of saying it. But that's what these sad people are like.
Tony, isn't this a problem, though, beyond, regardless of age of the viewer? For example, I wouldn't say I'm far right. I really wouldn't, honestly, okay? No, I'm serious when I say that, because I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, for example. I'm an open person, but somebody wrote me an email and said I was far right. It's a mature, older person. Really,
is that malicious though? That's just his opinion.
Well, yes, but in other words, you can say a lot of different things on email or TV, and they're said by adults as well. It's
I
the
just
respect
think now,
I think is gone.
As time goes on, as Catherine will say, the stuff that comes out on social media now through, well, like I say, influencers. What is an influencer? I don't know. I don't do TikTok, so I don't quite know how that works either. But what comes out, children are hooked on these things. They're hooked on doing something silly to get as many views as possible.
Neil?
Okay, I'm going to bring you back on track because we can answer some of these questions. And the guys, you've sent me other questions here about Australia, blah, blah, blah. I'll answer in a minute. Right, let's go back to the slide which you've sent me, the TikTok messages. Okay, now this is irrelevant about which party is about. But if we look at a couple of them, let's look at the graphic. Childless women could have to start paying extra tax.
Could.
Right, and this is about wording, guys, and this doesn't matter about which party. So, and this is Reform as well. They use the same tactics, so I'll put that out there. Okay, right. So the keywords are could. The second word, have to. Extra tax. These are all key words. Now, what's that going to trigger, guys? Right, when you read this, what do you see? Do you see a fact?
Or the keywords.
Catherine? Do you see fact, prediction, or a warning? Because these what does it trigger to you? What does it trigger to you guys right now?
It's like saying
when
racist.
When I say that
to
you, childless women could have to start paying extra tax. What emotion does it trigger?
They're impact words, aren't they?
Well,
They're
it's
impact
fair,
words.
isn't it?
It gives you a sense of injustice. It gives me a sense of injustice. Like, how
Injustice?
could you
Negative.
say that?
Negative.
No,
right?
you've said injustice.
It's negative
You're negative,
negative.
Catherine?
Yeah, it's fear. So
Fear.
negative. Yeah.
Keyword, fear. That's one of the factors. Tony?
Well, I'd be looking at that, and those are the first 4 words I'd see and think, no,
Concern.
must be true.
Fear. Catherine, you've just answered the question. All right. So let's move on to the next one. The abortion time limit could be reduced. Okay. Right. Again, what's the key words? I'll read it out. The abortion time limit could be reduced. There's 2 key words.
Well, there's could
Could. Robert?
and be.
Well, also abortion because
No, reduced.
Huh?
Reduced.
I'd see
Well,
what Rob's...
you mean you try and tell me I didn't get the right answer?
No, you
I
didn't.
think. No, I think.
I just-
with
I know,
respect, Tony. With
No,
respect.
Catherine.
I was going to say, I see what Rob's saying with abortion, though, because obviously there's so much going around with that already.
It's a trigger word.
It is a trigger word.
Yeah.
It is.
I like
see
it.
what he's
No.
saying
I
there.
love the input.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, I get 5 stars for that, right? No, seriously,
okay.
it's you mentioned the word abortion, and it's
I
like,
like to use the
boom,
word termination myself.
What are you
but-
talking about?
Sorry?
No, it's like
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you was asking me a question. Right. So what they're saying is, again, could reduce, right? This isn't saying it's going to happen,
No.
is it?
No,
Right?
could.
It's saying it might happen. Right? And these are key words which every party, and I if I get into trouble, I get into trouble. Every party uses key words. Nat, you want to say something? I know you're itching.
Yeah, don't forget this wasn't the party that wrote this. This is somebody else that is trying to pump out or negative media against a certain party.
Yeah, and so let's go back to the question. How many people read could and how mentally turn it into will? It ain't going to happen.
No.
It isn't going to happen.
No, it's
but,
not gonna happen.
Right. Next one. A man could be paid higher wage than a woman. Okay. So let's
Again,
look
it's
at it.
could.
Right. So the graphic is making an argument based on what it says would happen if legal protection changed. Okay. So some of these statements have been made by certain individuals and they've took them. All right. But they
so.
have
What's
no
the
power.
trigger word?
they
Let's
can't.
have a little contest.
You threw me out there. What did you say?
Okay. I'll kick it off. Okay. To me, the trigger word is a man, because it's kind of like abortion. Like as soon as you say a man, Tony, how about you?
Well, no, I was going to ask a simple question here. All the questions there seem to be aimed at females.
Women. Yeah.
So is this because a logarithm thinks no man's going to see this? This will go on all the females' mobile phones.
Well, look
Well,
at the
it's pink.
colour. Look
Yeah,
at the colour
there
of
you
it.
go.
Well, it's pink. It's aimed it's aimed for women.
Well, yeah, right. So,
that's-
so these are political campaigns, all right? These are political campaigns describing a policy, right? Or describing what they may believe the consequences of a policy might be. All right? That's what that is. Well, let's go to graphic 4, which is quite interesting. You could immediately be sacked for getting pregnant. Right? Now, again, let's look at the key words. I'll read it out. Could. You could immediately be sacked for getting pregnant. Key words. Okay. Could
And immediately.
Immediately.
sacked pregnancy.
Yeah.
Okay. So these words are designed to affect what? What?
Women's confidence.
Yeah.
No, emotion.
Well,
Yeah,
emotions.
So
yeah.
they are
Women are
key
quite-
words.
Well, also
little bit more
a trigger image really is Nigel Farage, because as soon as you,
Yeah.
it's sort of like you throw up Donald Trump, say, "Ooh, what's going on today?"
Well, it's
know,
it's
so-
association, isn't it? That's what it. That's all that picture's there for.
Yes.
is to associate a picture with everything that goes with
Exactly.
that piece of.
Yeah.
Right. So you've read that. You've read that could immediately sack pregnant. Right. Would you stop scrolling, Catherine?
Well, I mean, I would read it and think, well, no, it wouldn't. I'd just keep reading it because obviously
So they
they're,
use the
they're,
words you-
This-
they're
Yeah.
words that you're getting attracted to. So then you read the rest of it because that's the whole point of a subheading or a heading.
So in changes to employment law. So it's keywords.
And it became enough of a problem for you, who never really speaks to me about much, to speak to me about something. So it obviously did its job between you and your friends, didn't it?
Neil, how are political parties using this
Well,
sort of approach.
so we're going to flip a little bit on because we're running out of time there. Okay, so the key message, right? So the best line, we're not here tonight to tell you who to vote for.
No, it's
what
not
we're
about
trying
that.
to tell you is what has been pumped out by all political parties,
All platforms.
all platforms,
and
yes?
to see what the age group of Catherine and her friends are seeing, because I don't see this, I don't see that, because I don't do TikTok. But if I saw that, I'd just go through it. You know, it wouldn't mean a lot to me. But obviously, it does to this age group because, you know, we've been there, had kids. Obviously, these guys are just starting on the ladder. So that's the other factor here. It's making them feel downtrodden before they've even started. In my eyes.
Yeah. So we'll move on because of time. So where's the new battlefield? All right. So, and this is a political battlefield used by all parties, all right? All parties, they don't wait for an election right now, all right? Right, it's getting pumped out all the time. So you pick up your phone, Catherine, right? You said you picked up the phone, you went to TikTok and bang, it came out. It doesn't matter which party, it could have been any party.
It might not be a
that's
party.
right.
There are active
Excellent point.
activists that even post leaflets through your door.
Also,
you know,
Neil, I think you're exactly right, Nat. Another facet of that is it doesn't even have to do anything to do with politics or any political party. It could be toothpaste. It could be there are trigger words with different things that you're trying to sell, and this what social media does very well, actually.
well, I mean, in my eyes, you know, the way I see it, there's with this particularly being on TikTok, there's a triangular link there. There's three main factors. There's our current government, you've got the Chinese government, and you've got young people. And ultimately, that's, you know, we have no control over it, but there's a message trying to be put out to our younger generation. And that's what we're seeing there.
They're not interested in us. Is that what you're saying, Nat?
I think I would do it to anyone. I don't think it's necessary. It's anybody who's on TikTok. They're reaching out for a big audience. They haven't, obviously those slides, for example, they were reaching out, like we said, they're mostly for women. They're pink, like we said. They're reaching their audience through that.
But how, it's a question, because I'm a bit naive on this. How do they know to send it to your phone? Is it done by a logarithm or because you've gone on certain sites to do with this subject?
So when you're scrolling, if you like or interact with a post, they will see that as you were interested in that post, and then like it will find
Other posts
similar
related to
posts
the
or
same.
something.
As in-
Or so say somebody even sent me a video and then I sort of reacted to it in their chat.
So you've just
or-
got to touch it.
Yeah. And then it would like bring something onto my For You page. if that
Good
makes sense.
example of that is about a week ago, my Volvo engine seized up, and so I just typed into Google. I said, "Volvo's for sale in Exeter." For the next few days, every single time I logged on to Google, Tony, it kept on saying, just flashing up different Volvos for sale. So, Catherine, you're exactly right.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, it's not just that, is it? We can sit here and have a conversation with our phones when we think they're sleeping.
Yeah.
They're listening.
Is that true, though? Is it?
Yeah, because I can almost guarantee you, if we said a certain word, I don't know what, camera or TV,
Yeah.
within 24 hours, I'll be getting ads or things flip up through my phone.
Yeah.
And my phone's
And it
not
would
here,
have
so
heard
I
it.
won't get any TVs today.
Okay,
But that happens.
So the point is, I think what we're trying to say, one of the facets here anyway, is when it comes to politics, every party is trying to sell their message, and social media has different ways of achieving that. Some are not that great, but others are very effective at it. And in fact, if you look at the logos, Green Party, it's all green. Well, what does the Green Party stand for anymore? Is it all green? But, and then you liberal Democrats.
Don't
you have a
mention
nice
them too
bird
much
there.
because I don't want all their stuff coming up on my phone tomorrow. Will.
Okay.
I do look at the Conservative one, which seems to change the logo every year, but
Right, so let's just go back to the logo. So they all have to have a badge. You all have to have a symbol. All right, and that's what. But let's dive into some of the literature they send out. All right. So I've had a few questions here, and I'm just going to answer them very quickly. In fact, what I'll do is answer the questions at the end. But thank you, Ian, and you've summed it up. And I've realised the word hooks. Catherine, can you explain a hook?
It's something that catches your attention. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's for a young person, because this is all new to me. It takes me 5 minutes to get all this working. But you have a hook. Yeah, I've got everything here. I've got this one here. I've got loads of questions. Fantastic questions, guys. I will come back to it in a minute. But let's look at the key words they're using, okay? So spot the key words. And this is on any brochure. I did a SOCON. I laid out all these brochures on my table last night, and I looked at it all, and I wrote down, pretty sad, because the wife went to bed and she said, "You're a bit sad, Neil." But I wanted to come across to what every party use, and it's key words they're using. And this is, I wrote down 10 uses the same words. They use 7. Right. Change. Protect. Future. Community. Security and hope. These words are used all the time, right? Now, does words matter, Catherine?
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
Well, it's a hook. Like you said, it gets your attention. If they're positive words or negative, you will more likely go to the negative. But then if you're reading something positive, when you want to feel something positive, you're more likely to read that.
Good example that, Neil, is Obama had, I think, Change You Can Believe In. And also he put a book out, I don't know if you wrote it or not, but anyway, it was entitled Dreams of My Father. So those kind of messages, subtle messages, are great, effective ways at drawing people in. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you say. So these key words. So if I went to you, Catherine, right, so I go back to it: change, protect, future, community, security, and hope. Right, which words, or put it in, which word would stand out to you most? So this is a young lady, you, Catherine. So you're about to vote. Keywords: change, protect, future, community, secure, or hope.
Definitely change in the future, and hope and security.
So what do you mean by change?
Well, difference, something that isn't. I don't really know how you. Just something different, something that's not how it's going at the moment, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Exeter needs change.
No, so you look at it, right, then you use the word future. That's a key word.
Yeah, well,
we're talking about my future, your future, his future.
Well, because I'm young, I've got more future to live. Sorry, I know that sounds
That's not very nice.
Very
But
I mean, respect.
Catherine,
There's us trying to protect your future.
we don't have one now.
Oh no. Thrown under the bus.
I mean, I don't know how it's going to go because I know you guys are fighting for it, but I still don't know because we're very unsure at the moment. So it would be nice to know what the future holds, but obviously nobody can. But
And you used another word. Which other word was it?
Hope.
Hope. So what do you hope?
Well, I hope that it does change and that. Well, I hope that something changes to make it better, I guess.
No. This is not rehearsed, guys. This is putting her on the spot. Dad, what do you think of that? What do you do politics for?
But this actually just, and I don't blame Catherine for not being on it regards her replies, because some people are either into politics or they're not, and it's difficult because those key words are what some people only go on. Others will look into it and take it far more seriously. I saw an AI thing that came up through my socials earlier to say that basically nobody can trust anybody because nothing ever changes. And sadly, all this builds into everybody's sort of algorithms, and until you've got to believe that something different can happen, and this is what everyone's up against at the moment, and the confusion that must go through a lot of our young people's minds must be
Okay, so
off the scale.
we've got the next slide, which is what is motion trying to create. So every leaflet, it doesn't matter which party. I just did this quite late last night. I randomly put them on there, took a picture and put it up. So it doesn't matter which party it is. So if you look at it, guys, and I've got loads of questions here, and I'm sorry I haven't answered them all. I will come to some of them in a minute. Tina, thank you. Marion, thank you. I'll come back. We'll do a few minutes of a roundup on questions. Right, so all of these here use the word hope, concern, trust, change, pride, and security. But it's a key message for everybody. Remember, every party spends millions of pounds to advertise their product, and that's the best way of
Get
putting
their
it.
message across.
And it's keywords which stimulates the person or the individual. And like Ian said, it hooks them, right? Right, and we're building up to what we think the people want to hear.
Well,
right?
it's not what they want to hear, is it? They want to see action. Ultimately,
But
that's
action wasn't
what,
one of the key words.
no.
So
Because
go-
that generally never happens.
So, Catherine, I go back to you. So what about young people? What are they really worried about?
Oh, our future. I know that is what, and especially my friends that they're in farming and everything. They want to know what's gonna happen to their farms. They want to know what's they don't know at the minute. It's so unsure. They want something that is trustworthy.
But can we trust any party? Right?
No, exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is they don't know who now because everybody's.
So it's all been muddied. So I look at this. Somebody told me once, when you want to muddy a situation, just throw a pebble in the pond and it meadows it all up. So we were in a meadow a few years ago. We were in a bigger mess than we ever. If for a young person, I'm 61. For somebody like yourself, who's I would classify as a baby, it's like a minefield because wherever you step, if you step on the wrong area, it's going to destroy you.
Catherine, can I ask you a question? When I stood up to be a councillor, did it give you hope?
Oops.
Put them on the spot.
Don't answer very quickly, Catherine.
Don't rush on that one.
I knew why you were doing it. You were doing it because we wanted to help. So I guess I was
Change.
proud about it. But at the time, I wasn't focusing on politics. I'm pretty sure I was going through exams and stuff. So it was all a bit wild.
All right, then
but
forget,
Is that the answer you wanted?
forget the first question.
Is that the
Right,
answer you wanted? Matt?
can I have the answer? What about now then?
yeah, I am proud and I know what you're doing.
Oh,
it for.
no, I don't want to know that you're
Okay.
proud of me. I
right.
want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think we will help? Or as in everything I talked to you about
Yeah.
and the things we do and the things we're getting up to and how honest that all my friends are, how do you feel about that now?
Yeah, there is more hope, definitely.
Oh, he's found another button.
Right, so
We got there in the
going
end.
back to let's put the
I
slide
didn't
up,
pay her
Rob.
for that, by the
So
way.
young people, right? At this moment of time, and I feel it myself. The climate is changing, all right, and we're not on about political. We're on about the rents. Rents are going up. We're on about people finding it hard with their wallets. Electrical bills are going up. The housing market's going down. It's family. Everything is affecting us right now. And I feel like we're like sheep. We just go along and it gets done. So electric's going up, gas is going up, everything's going up. Right? Nobody really moans because we're supposed to be very polite people.
Well, because you've got to do it.
Right?
You
But we
cannot.
have no choice.
Yeah, you can't just down tools and jack it in. We're fighters in this country.
No, and I agree. And I've got a lady here said, Tina, it's part of the plan, causes chaos, breakdown, so people will accept the change they already planned for. That's one of them. Another one is, Helen, please address fly tipping again. You used to have a year. Okay, Helen, we'll come back to fly tipping now. Nat, Helen says, please address it. They should have a yearly Berkeley waste collection in specific areas. Totally agree with you. Tony will work on that.
Yeah,
That's
I'll do my best on that one.
Alright.
It did used to happen. I think I won't go back to Phil because I know what the answer will be. It'll be down to cost.
Helen, there is a massive issue there, and it's county-wide. it will take some clever heads to get together, but at the moment we're not in that position. But one day, hopefully, we will be.
But we can raise. We can raise.
Oh yeah,
the
we
issue.
can chase and
I
chase.
would
but-
chase that
We're
one.
going to
up.
run out of time in a minute, and I'll tell you what. I wish I booked this in a bit more. So let's go to the second to last slide. Think for yourself, Catherine. Okay, so the final question. We're going to ask you some questions quickly. Whether we can get these in or not, I don't know. Okay, so I've got a lot of questions here to ask you. So, and I'll just read them off. So, a fairer future for everybody. Question 1. Who said that, guys?
Ooh, I've heard
Green
that
Party.
one. I've heard that
Because
one.
I got
Green, it
I
does
got
sound like
a
a Green
leaflet through
Party
my door.
policy.
They had
Right,
5
building
leaflets,
safer
I think, right?
communities. Who said that?
That would probably be
Building safer communities.
conservatives.
Yeah, that was a guess there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, putting people first.
Nah.
I was definitely not Labour. That
Katie,
one.
you got one? You got an answer for that?
Labour.
Huh?
Okay.
Was it? Oh, there we go.
Change is coming.
Catherine, rather.
Change,
that
Catherine,
could
change
be.
coming.
Oh, go on. I'll give you a clue. Oh,
Reform.
There we
Labour
go.
Party.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't know.
working hard all year round. There's only one last party, I think, isn't it? Lib
I don't
Dems.
know. I've lost.
Conservatives.
Good one, protecting our green spaces.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that is a little bit dig because some of them voted to put the solar farm down in my area. That's another thing if we want to answer that. All right, backing British businesses. That's a good one. Who's that?
well, that's
Gotta be
definitely not
conservative.
Labour.
Sorry, reform. Gotta
No,
be.
Conservatives.
Yeah,
Really?
not Labour.
Standing up for local communities.
Oh,
I've no. Where are these? Are these all slogans off of
Yeah,
the
these are what people are
leaflets?
using, and there's a mixture. Lib Dems.
oh, there
This is
we
what
go.
you
That's
got
a
off the
surprise,
leaflets,
that one.
Neil.
Right, let's go on to this. Hope.
I'd go Reform.
Who uses the word hope?
I think Reform Party, right?
No.
Oh,
Labour,
Labour. I was gonna say.
Green, Lib Dems, and Reform.
oh, there we are. Look.
Oh,
Okay? Community. Who uses that?
We've got to be reform.
But I've got to say, I do like the word community.
Labour, Green, Lib Dems.
But not
Right, who
anymore.
uses the word change?
Oh, that's Reform.
Catherine?
yeah, I would say Reform.
When I
And-
ignore him, that means
Yeah,
he's
no,
wrong.
yeah, but I was going to say.
But
it.
if I say Reform enough, it will be coming Reform.
No, it's Reform, Labour,
them.
and Green.
Ah,
Now, why am I telling you all this? All right? Right, a better future. A better future.
That's
Come on,
Green Party.
because we've all used the word. We all want a better
Well,
future.
they have a
I'm
fairer
going to say
future.
all of them.
You're
Green Party
correct,
is a
Tony.
fairer
Every
future.
party uses the version
There you
of
go.
this.
That one for me.
So what are we trying to explain to you is everybody or every party pumps out all this stuff, right? They use the words. I like the word hook, okay, which you said. Sorry, Ian said, but you also said your friends are reading it. All right, so what is the message we're trying to get out tonight? Catherine, I'm going to leave that to you, but I don't think you can because you're coming in code. So what is the message we're trying to deliver to everybody? It doesn't matter what party you want to belong to. It doesn't care.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't.
Nat wants that one, I think.
Go ahead, Nat. You got your hand up.
I would say actions speak louder than words, to be honest. Overall,
That's a good point.
and that it doesn't matter what is written and what Neil's just read out there. It all matters, but actions speak louder than words.
I'll finish by saying, don't believe everything you read.
Right, so I'm going to ask you a question now, Catherine, and all of you guys, and we can control the time because I don't care. Right, if
Why don't
your
you care?
son, daughter, grandchild was voting tomorrow, what advice would you give them? And anyone wants to come on there quickly now, I'm quite happy to answer it. We've got, thank you, Carol, thank you, Tina, thank you, Helen, thank you, Marion. Marion, you still promised me a cup of tea sometime.
Old Rob Bone.
Herbal tea. Okay, so I'll go back to that question again. If your son, daughter, or grandchild was voting tomorrow, what advice would you give them? And we're going to give you advice at the end of this.
You asking me, Neil?
I'm asking all of you.
Right. Firstly, look at what's happened in the past and look at the opportunity that you may have for something different. That's all I would say. But do your research. Look into all the policies, and ultimately listen to factual stuff, not stuff on unregulated platforms. That's the advice I could give to Catherine. You know,
Thanks.
not tell her to vote for
Rob?
me. But
I was just going to say, we tend to exist in our own bubbles, you know, but try to engage with some other people, people that may not agree with you, and see what they say, because you might not have thought about different aspects to things. What do you think about
Tony?
that one?
I would say I'd be proud of them first for voting. And just because I vote a certain way, it doesn't mean to say you do. Vote who you believe will make a difference.
Catherine?
And I have to say believe.
I think that, yeah, everybody has their own opinions. Definitely just go with what you believe, but obviously do the correct research, learn what you need to learn, and just go with what you feel like it relates to you the most and where you want that to go. Does that make sense? So vote who gives you the most ticks in your boxes, if that makes sense.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my bottom line is, I want change, and but before I do change, you know, you can stand up and say I want change, but I will always read, and I read widely. And what I mean, I read all different posts. I read from France, Germany. I read all the news I can. Okay. You also got to ask questions. Like, you ask me a question, and I will answer that question, and you take your own conclusion. You have to challenge everything, guys, because remember, this is getting pumped out by media, by social media, everything. Yeah, and it's about questions and answers. All right, you need to challenge. All right, and don't let social media decide how you vote. Don't let the papers decide. You vote, but you're all intelligent people. You do your research, you ask questions, and it's the people you vote for, the individuals who deliver. And at the end of the day, this country won't change if we stay the same as what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just along those lines, some of the leaflets have come through. For example, the Green Party it said, for a fairer future, vote for us for a fairer future. We should be asking, what do they mean by these? Don't just use these buzzwords. What do they mean? You're going to take away all the money from everybody and then redistribute it to everybody so that it's fair for everybody? Ask questions, I think is what you're saying.
Okay, to that end, guys, it's been pleasure. Hopefully I haven't upset and we haven't crossed borders. I've tried to keep it as neutral as I can, or we can. Okay, next week we'll do the next one. Anybody want to come on? You know, Phil Bialek, we've invited him on, and he said he will, I think.
He said he may be. Yeah.
All right, and the invitations to any councillor, doesn't matter which party, and not one have actually said they will come along. Why? Are they scared to talk openly, or the questions answered? But as it goes out, thank you guys. Really appreciate you listening. Hopefully this gets and spreads the word about how social media is dictating our lives and making our young people. And by the way, yeah, good question. Somebody asked me, why are some parties picking on the young people? Why are they trying to drop the age? Why? Because they're vulnerable, because these are the ones on social media near enough 12 hours a day. Even my wife's on the phone right now. She don't even talk to me hardly now. But that's a joke, darling. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, let's do a little round around. Final words, guys. Nat, over to you, please, sir.
Well, tonight's been really interesting, and I hope we get a younger audience on here and more young people to join the podcast, because listening to younger people is important, and to know what their thoughts on everything we do is. You know, there is a silent majority of people out there that just go by day to day without having their say. And if you want to say, come on the podcast and we'll listen.
That's a great message. Tony?
Well, I was going to say it's ironic, really, isn't it? The fact that we're talking about social media and we're putting this one out on social media, TikTok and Facebook. Although obviously we're not trying to get a message across. We're just giving information.
Neil?
That's it. I just thank you, Rob. Thank you, Dana, in the background. Catherine, it's been a pleasure, and I'd like you to come along with maybe some of your friends. And I'm happy to give this floor up to all your friends. So we are happy to stand to the side, and that goes to anybody. If they want to come in here and talk about politics and don't want us here, Catherine, you can run it. Okay, I'll just sit and push the button.
We'll let-
all
we'll
we
let-
Want
say
me to
is,
run it.
We'll let Rob run
all
it.
we
shall we?
say is no fighting in here.
Okay, that's the end. We're 11 minutes over target. Sorry about that.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks a lot for joining us on episode 49.
50
What are we
next
going to do
year.
for episode 50? We're
I'm
going
going
to
to
have a cake.
and I might have some champagne.
That's a good idea, Neil. I'll
Okay.
get a driver.
But I'm teetotal, so that
And
ain't
I'm
gonna-
on a diet. I'm on a diet, so that's that one.
Thanks for watching episode 49, guys. And we'll see you next Thursday, 6 o'clock. Same time, same station in the secret underground bunker.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.